Anyway, so my name's Kyle Matthews. My wife Robin and I founded the Because of Ezra Foundation. Ezra was our son. We lost him in 2010. And I was asked to talk about how to raise your profile. So we've talked a lot today about just the importance of advocacy, and especially with this group that is so parent-funded, and we don't have grants from the government and that kind of thing. So there's this heavy need for advocacy and for obviously what all of us are doing. And a part of that is this concept of raising a profile or building a brand, which to me almost seems like we shouldn't have to do this. I'm amazed constantly that I would have to convince people that this is a worthy cause. When I'm talking to people, and I'm like, look, there's people are in need, and these are children with cancer. Why do I have to convince you? Why do I even have to do this thing of building a brand? But the thing is, we do have to do that. We have to, we're asking people for money, and we're trying to tell people about this need. So there's this concept of raising a profile, of building a brand. That's kind of what I'm going to go through. So raising a profile is basically how you create and maintain an identifiable presence for your organization. So it's, again, it's building a brand, and that's kind of what this is about. So I have it basically three little areas that I'm going to say are things that you can do to do this concept, and then I'll talk a little bit about each one. So the first thing that's part of raising your profile or building your brand is defining your voice. So you have to decide who you're going to be as far as what is your mission, some of these different things. And even, okay, so this is even just vocally, when you're on a social network or when you're your publications that come out, what's your tone? Are you funny and bright? Are you serious? Are you angry? Are you flippant? Are you what's kind of the tone that your organization has? And I put over here, I'll talk a little bit later about social networking and how you can use that. But if you get to volunteer one person to maybe do all of your Twitter stuff or all of your Facebook stuff, that kind of helps to have this, this identifiable voice. And design is important. Design well with a purpose. I don't know how many websites I go to that, it doesn't look well designed. It doesn't look professional, and yet you're asking me to give you my time or my money, so this concept of having the design is something that a lot of people skip out on, again, because we think I shouldn't have to do that. That shouldn't matter. Are you listening to the story that I'm telling? Why does it have to look nice? Here's our website. I think it's nice. We have very just clear areas on there of who we are, why we are, how we are. We have the colors that we like to use and our fonts and that kind of thing. This is just a part of design, and this is kind of our voice. We have this, it's kind of kiddish, and everything that we do, we try to keep in this similar vein of design. And it does matter because you're asking for money. You're asking for time. You're asking for people to give you, and to not get anything back, other than this feeling that they've accomplished something, or this good feeling. But in order to do that, you have to look the part, and that's going to make people a little bit more convinced that maybe I should support these people. I like to say, look bigger than you are. We had a bunch of people talking about running out of your, you run your nonprofit out of your bedroom or your front room or whatever, and we do the same thing. We don't have any paid employees, and our board, everybody's all volunteer. But if you can, look bigger than you are, that comes across as, it makes you look legitimate, which you are, but you shouldn't have to convince people of that. So if you design well, that's part of that. I made the joke, look bigger than you are. Pat does a great job. He's actually 5'2". It's the stripes. Yeah, it looks taller. Part of again, defining your voice is define and stay true to your purpose. So this, again, is your mission. We heard a little bit about this. And you need to decide as an organization What is your mission? What is your purpose? You know, are you here to fund research? Are you here to you know, enhance the life of children that are in treatment? You know, there's different things that different organizations want to do that that really have touched you as a family or a board or whoever is running your organization. For us, we're Because of Ezra. Our goal is to raise money and support relevant research and clinical trials with physicians and researchers who can help make a difference in survival today, specifically about neuroblastoma, and we also work a little bit in awareness. That's something that's important to us. So 3 main things there. Relevant research. It needs to be patient-affecting, which, you know, means it can happen quickly. This is something that we've said many times, we're not funding a scientist's career or, you know, something that's dumbed down into a lab where it never touches a patient. We want it to be patient-affecting, and we work a lot on awareness. You know, we have some different projects that do that. So, you know, when we were in treatment, there was a lot of organizations that came around and did all sorts of things for us that were amazing. You know, Ezra loses his, you know, he loses his hair with chemo, and we get hats and we get blankets, and organizations would give us gas cards, or Olive Garden would come by the hospital and bring us fettuccine alfredo or whatever. And these things are all extremely important, and you have to decide where is your focus going to be. And what is it that you would like to focus on? So for us, it's research, patient-affecting, and awareness. And that's, again, this is all part of defining your voice, is who are you as an organization. Another thing that you have to do when you're defining your voice is always tell your story. So most likely, the reason that people are connected to you is because they heard your story. I mean, that's usually what it is they connected to your child, they connected to another child, and that's why they're connected to this cause. You see very few people that are passionate about neuroblastoma without, you know, having a specific child that they can say is the reason that started. So that's important. That's the driving force behind why all of us do this, you know, is because we have this connection to a child. For us, it was Ezra. So we always tell our story. We always have Robin has her purse full of bracelets at any time. Just the other day, we were at Starbucks. We were sitting outside having a Frappuccino. We don't drink Frappuccinos. It was just a mocha. And this young lady comes out to us. I don't like the blended drinks. Young lady comes out to us, and she asked me, what does your tattoo mean? You can't see it here, but I have a tattoo that says 800 days. And I have another one here for another child that we lost. And so she asked me, what does your tattoo mean? And I said, well, we had a son, Ezra, and he lived exactly 800 days. And that led into a conversation about what are we doing now, you know, how, and the first thing that she said, the young lady, was, how can we help? Which was amazing. I mean, first of all, I was a teenager that apparently was a cool girl. And we talked to her for a little bit, and Robin handed out a bunch of bracelets to her and said, go to our website, you know, check out our Twitter or Instagram or whatever. We do events in town. We'd love to have you come out and really just share the story. Talk to other people about this need that is so real that people just need to know about. We'd never heard the word neuroblastoma when we were diagnosed, and everybody is shaking their heads. It's not something that you're even aware is a need, and so we have to talk about that. We have to always be telling our story. Later that afternoon, we went home and we were headed out to dinner, and the little neighbor girl down the street wanted to come by and say hello to Charlie. So she came by, and she's in high school, you know, near us. And she said, did you guys see my friends at Starbucks? We're like, what do you mean? And she goes, oh, well, I saw on Instagram that they posted a bunch of pictures of your bracelets, and when they came to school, they were talking about it. And it was like just kind of this weird thing of these girls that we talked to went out, and they told their friends, and it wound up even coming back to us. So you tell your story, and you know, that gets out there, and it's so important. to have that story be told. So a second main thing that you need to do in raising your profile or building your brand or creating this entity, your organization, is be meaningfully present. So what I mean by that, I'm going to talk about three different areas that I think that you should be present. Online, locally, and then to your donors. So online, obviously extremely important. Isn't that a nice photo? That's a stock image right there. And online, yeah, obviously everything is online now. We're talking even in the conversation over the past couple of days about how important social media has played a role in the way that we find out about trials and the way that we find out about events like this and other parent organizations is through Facebook and through Twitter and through Google even, and all these areas online. But the one thing that I want to point out is there's a difference between busy and effective. I see a lot of people, and my day job is the internet stuff. I run large community sites, so we have forums. We have about 2 million members on our sites. They're about like hacking phones and things like that. It's very, very geeky. But I say this to say that my background is in online community management and web development and mobile app development. So it pet peeve when I see people that are getting online and I don't think that they're being effective as they can. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, I guess. And my thing is be purposeful in how you interact with your followers online. So remember earlier, remember defining your voice, and remember when you're talking to people online that you are trying to further your mission and what it is that we're trying to do in curing neuroblastoma or helping the families that are going through there. And if that means that you need to consider getting a volunteer to help you with some of the social networking or blogging or whatever that is, people love to help. And a really cool thing that you can have your volunteers do is manage your Twitter or your Facebook or that kind of thing. Yeah, these are the 3 places that I think that you should be most often. We're just talking about social networks in general, and the one on the right here is RSS feed. So that's your personal blog. There's a ton of different social networks. I'll talk about them in a second, but these are obviously the 3 big ones. This is not news to anybody: Facebook, Twitter, and your blog. Maybe that's not a social network, but I'm saying that as far as online, this is an important part. And if you can only be 3 places, I think these are very important. And don't get caught up in the always-on mentality of people that just, they feel like they have to constantly be answering everyone on their Facebook or their Twitter. Just kind of a basic, these are good rules of thumb as far as how these social networks and blog are interacted with. Twitter is going to have the least traction. Now, again, in some people's organizations, this may be different, so you kind of want to pay attention to how your followers interact with you. But in general, Twitter is the least traction. What I mean by that is you're not going to usually find a lot of volunteers or get a lot of donations or that kind of thing from your Twitter posts. It's this hyper current, it's like text messages, but it's online. So. And people tend to follow hundreds of people or thousands of people, and your posts get lost in there. So I think that you should do maybe 4 to 6 a day. This is actually where you should be most, you're talking most. But it's, again, these hyper-current things of how do you interact with Twitter, just, a general idea of, oh, there's an event coming up, and this is not how you're necessarily announcing to everyone, but you're just reminding. Or, we have a sale on our T-shirt that we just put up, or we just put up a new T-shirt, or that kind of thing. With Facebook, that's the second highest traction. Of the social networks, it's the highest. But the second highest traction, and I mean like connection of how you're connecting with people. You'll see a lot more conversation here, and Facebook is, by nature, mostly friends. These are people that are your friends. Whereas Twitter, you kind of just follow random celebrities and people that you're interested in professionally, that kind of thing as well. So Facebook people tend to read a little bit deeper. They go a little bit further. These are generally their peers, and the conversations. It's nice because the conversations are open to everyone. So if someone participates in a conversation on your wall, it shows up on their wall that so and so is talking with Because of Ezra. And again, these are current things. This is the bottom line here. I'm putting where I think, what type of content should go on these networks. So this is current things. This is things that, are in the next week or two, or they're a few days. Maybe you don't say we're having an event in 9 months on there. You can, but it's, a quick reminder kind of thing. These are more than Twitter, but not quite as timeless as the stuff that you put on your blog. And I think a good idea is 2 to 4 posts per week. What happens if you start doing more than that? I follow some Facebook, groups or, pages that will post just 10 things a day. And what winds up happening is people are going to press hide. Again, this whole idea of we feel like, because we live this world, and this is our children, this is our family, this is this deep passion that we have as parents or as people involved in organizations. We feel that it should be infinitely obvious that this is something that has to be paid attention to, is important, right? But your friend that you met at Starbucks that now is following you on Facebook, they are not connected in that way. They know this story, but it's just a story that they heard at Starbucks. And they're following you on Facebook now. They went home and they're following you on Facebook because they want to be involved. And you start flooding their timeline, which is how it comes across to them, is, oh, I follow this page and now I'm getting 15 posts a day about childhood cancer. And what's going to happen is they're going to press unlike. And that's just a fact that is, it seems like it shouldn't have to be that way, but it is. And so you have to be smart about how you do that. And that's why I say, generally a post every other day, or, if you have and these are general rules. If one day you post 2 things because something came up that's important, the world is not lost. But these are kind of general rules of thumb on how you should interact and how you should behave on certain, these 2 spaces specifically. Your blog, if you don't have a blog first of all, if you don't have a website, you should have a website. If you don't have a blog on the website, do it. Put a blog up, because this is the way that you drive people to your site. So I say that you should do 2 posts a week. And this is kind of a do as I say and not as I do thing, because I don't always do that. I need a volunteer. I'm going to go through our emails and find someone. But in my other blogs and my other areas that I do that are not childhood cancer related, this is kind of a good norm where you post a couple things a week, and these are timeless things. So what I mean by that is it's something that is going to be relevant 9 months from now, just as well as it is today. So maybe you post an article of 10 ways to help a grieving friend, or someone who's experienced loss, or you post how clinical trials are opened, or that kind of thing. These are articles that if you read them 9 months from now, they're just as current as they were today, or similarly current. So that's what you should be posting on your blog. And the nice thing about this is you can share. Obviously, you share your blog posts on Facebook and Twitter and wherever else you are, but it drives people to your site. So now people are spending time where you are. So now, hopefully, your site is designed in such a way that you're kind of pushing into what it is that your mission is and that kind of thing, and they can go around your site and look around and see what it is you do. But you've now sent people to your world, and so that's why a blog is so important. It also helps just for Google and everything that you have fresh content on your site. That's a little side benefit that you get. So there are other social networks, and again, that's going to depend on you guys as an organization, and as far as the way that you interact with your mission. For instance, we use YouTube. We have this awareness project we call 800 Days. Again, Ezra lived exactly 800 days. And so and AJ will talk a little bit more about video. I'm not going to play the video. He'll have a couple. But we just tell the stories of children that are fighting neuroblastoma. So we do these short videos and we put them on YouTube, and we chose YouTube over some of the other video sharing sites just because it has, it's the most ubiquitous. Everybody knows YouTube. Everybody's on YouTube. So we put that on there. Maybe you don't need to have YouTube. Maybe you do. I don't know exactly. That all depends on how you guys achieve your mission. Don't do something where you have a social network that you just are never on. that winds up looking worse. If you have, a Pinterest account because someone said, oh, Pinterest is really exciting, and, someone starts following you and they see, oh, the Because of Ezra posted something 6 months ago and that was the last time they did anything, then the natural assumption is, maybe this isn't like a current kind of organization, or maybe they're not still doing something, I don't know, but, they're not following something that they see as inactive. So don't do that. And pay attention to where people are interacting with you the most. Because, again, we all have different ways that we achieve the mission that we have for our organization. So you need to pay attention to how your users are interacting with you. And, again, we're specifically talking about being present online. YouTube, Google+, Instagram, Pinterest, Vimeo, Flickr. These are all social networking sites that maybe you need to be on, maybe you don't. Flickr, we don't ever use it because we don't do anything that has to do with photography. Maybe part of your mission or part of the projects in your organization is, you take pictures of families and you offer those pictures to the family as a keepsake. So then in that case, it makes a lot of sense for you to be on Flickr, assuming that you get permission from the parents, because you have photos to post. The two ones that I highlighted here, these are just kind of services. GuideStar, you should be in GuideStar. It's kind of the de facto database of the 501c3s that are out there. You can put your financials up there. You can put your board members, and that really helps when people are looking at you from a potential donor or potential volunteer standpoint. Especially if you start getting into corporate sponsors and you start getting into people who want to write you a larger check. A lot of them do their due diligence before they are going to give you a check for $20,000. They want to see, who is this person? They want to see a little bit of history. They want to see, okay, I know you told me that 95% of my money goes directly to research and not administrative overhead, but I'd like to see a little proof. So you can do that in GuideStar and have all your information up there. MailChimp is for email lists. So that's something that I really recommend that you have, an email list. I'll talk a little bit more about that and being present to your donors. But that's the main way that you can talk directly to your donors online. The biggest thing that I can say is important when you're interacting online is create your own content. So this is a still shot from one of the 800 Days videos that we did. That's Glenn, his daughter is Malia, and they're actually on the DFMO trial, and they're funny people. He's doing a triathlon there, or Ironman, I guess is an even bigger deal. But you see a lot of people that repost stuff. You'll post, and this kind of goes to the Facebook thing of posting too much, where there's these 15 links, and if everything that you're posting has St. Baldrick's on it, or everything that you're posting has, Alex's lemonade stand, or you saw a photo on someone else's wall and you take it and you repost it. Again, this is as a generality. If that's everything that you do, then you're telling your followers, these are the creators of content. These are the people who are originating things, not me. You're posting someone else's stuff, and what's going to wind up happening is they're going to think, well, if I'm going to give, I should probably give to those people because apparently they're the ones that are doing everything. So create your own content. Take that extra time to have the photo of, a child, or if that's what you're trying to share, do it yourself. Figure out how to put a photo on there and create your own content, and you'll see a lot more people interact with you online because online content is a big deal. I wrote also, just if you're going to use a picture of someone else's kid, please get permission. That's just a pet peeve. I can't. You guys probably all during treatment, you get these, especially if you've been in treatment or anything lately. There's these weird people that just take everything that you post and they repost it on. All of a sudden there's a Twitter account that's Ezra is an angel, and someone somewhere is posting all these pictures, and it's really nice, but just get permission first. That's a pet peeve. Right. Yeah, exactly. With an infographic or a thing that you're sharing. Yeah, so he was saying just ask people. And that's nice too, because what that does is that now opens up a conversation, a relationship with someone else that's doing similar things to what you're doing, and now you've made a friend. So now you're connecting with other people who are doing what we're all doing, and that's cool. So yeah, the second place that you should be present is locally. Ta-da! That makes sense, but some people want to do just online or something. So how do you be present locally? Use your local media. If you're going to throw an event, let people know. If you say we have a karaoke event coming up. So one thing to do is get a hold of the local newspaper, get a hold of the local news channel, whoever does the human interest or whatever is that area for you, and tell them, hey, we're throwing an event. Tickets are blah blah blah, but I'd like to let you guys in for free. And let them know, because that's their job, is to share about what's going on in the community, what's interesting, people that are cool stories, and what we're doing is something that is exciting. I mean, people get passionate about that, but again, they're not even going to know. You can't just expect them to, someone on your Facebook is going to know somebody who's going to tell the media. So if you're not getting any of that attention when you throw these events, just call them, give them a call, give them an email, and you'd be surprised, I think, how many of them want to come out and cover what you're doing. Also, attend local events and kind of just be a part of your community, because your community is the main place that you're actually going to connect with people face to face. So online is nice. It's great to be able to share a video, or to write a post that is very moving, blog post, that kind of thing. But you're going to connect with people the most face-to-face, when they can see the passion in you, when they can, tell just instantly. Any conversation that we have with anybody out here, you're going to know that they're passionate about their child just by talking to them. It's so obvious that obviously we are passionate about this cause, and that comes across. So talk about that and be present out in the community. Build relationships with the city that you're in. Same kind of thing. Put on good events. Put on events in your community, and spend some time on them. Get people around you. Make them a good event. Put up posters all over. Go to the local businesses. Tell them, hey, we're throwing an event. Can I put a poster up in your, the favorite place that you get coffee, or where you go to a restaurant for lunch all the time? These people know you. They see you. So ask them, can I put up a poster? Can I put up a box right by the cash register where people drop in dollars, or whatever it is? You'd be surprised how many people will want to be a part of that. And now you're connecting business owners, you're connecting media, you're connecting all these people to neuroblastoma and to your organization specifically. I say a lot, if I have to be the one that's passionate, and these people will come to my event, and that's the last time that I see them for a year. They came out, they paid $80 to get into Cure Me I'm Irish or our karaoke event or something, and that's the only thing that they do. If that's okay with me, somebody will connect and we'll get volunteers and we'll get other people, but if your entire thing that you can do, good citizen, is to attend my event, by all means, I will be the passion that knows where that money should go or where your time should go. So I want you to come to my event. I want you to get connected. And some people will carry this passion further and jump on board with what you're doing even more. Third place that you should be present is to your donors. These people have made the biggest commitment of anyone in your organization that's connected with your organization. They've actually given to you, whether it's time, whether it's money. They've made a sacrifice because they believe in what you're doing. So you should be present to these people. If someone sends you a donation of $20 online, write them an email back and say thank you. Put them in your email list if they want to, and email them on holidays and say, hey, just wanted to let you guys know, have a great Christmas. If you're funding a new trial, send out an email. Hey, just want to let you guys know, thank you so much for your donations of time, of money. Here's something that actually did. Here's a new trial that's being funded, or here's a link to a video of a child who your money directly is helping. Be present to your donors. So the third place, or the third thing that I think you have to do, first one, define your voice. Second one, be meaningfully present. And number three, build your team wisely. This is almost the most important thing, because these are the people that are going to be helping you to do what it is that you want to do, to achieve your mission, to in this case, to cure neuroblastoma. So this is our team. This is our board. Derek's actually over here. My wife and I, and Erica Copeland and Marissa Devins-Rice. We love these guys. These people are going to be your hands and feet. Maybe not necessarily just your board, but your volunteer base, your auxiliary board, whatever else that you have as far as people that are a part of your organization. You should be very, very wise about the people that you surround yourself with. This is a quote I like. If you ever find a man who is better than you are, hire him. That's a great idea, and it's the same thing in volunteer work. Maybe you're not paying them, but bring them on board. Another quote. My dad loves quotes. He always did quotes, so I like to have quotes. Henry Ford, supposedly, this is a story, he took one of those little Russian dolls, they get smaller and smaller and smaller, and he had all his heads of departments in the room. He pulled out the very smallest little doll, and he said, if you always hire people that are smaller than you, we will be a company of dwarves. If you always hire people who are bigger than you, we will be a company of giants. And the same thing is so effective within nonprofits. If you surround yourself with people that are smarter than you, which is definitely what I try to do, then you will achieve way more than you could by yourself, because these people know more. They have maybe experience that you don't have. And again, that goes back to being the drive and the passion. I'll be the drive, I'll be the passion, by all means. I will do that, but I need, these people who have wisdom in areas that I don't. And that makes a huge difference. Derek does a lot of medical research stuff in his normal job, so he knows all about grants, and he knows all about navigating through trials and how all this stuff works, and that helps a lot when we're asking, should we fund this, or should we fund this, or is this right that, this person is asking for this amount of money, and, so-and-so is administrative overhead, that kind of thing, and it really helps to have someone on your team that is, skilled in these areas that maybe you're not so skilled in. Again, yeah, this is what I've been talking about the whole time. We will be the drive, we'll be the passion, we'll be the purpose, and then you work with other people to make what you're doing happen. I have this, Robin always tells me, you don't have to do it all, Kyle. I have this thing where I'm like, I want to do everything. But what happens is, number one, everything doesn't get done. And number two, probably it doesn't get done as well as it could have because I'm getting burned out, or we're leaving things on the side. And then eventually what's going to happen is you're going to get burned out and you're just going to stop for a while because it's like, it's too much. So bring those people around you. We have someone that writes our blog. We have someone that we're asking to run our Twitter. We have a separate person that runs our Instagram account. Like, hand it all out. You don't have to do everything. And if you don't do everything, you'd be surprised at how much more time you have to think up, new events or new ways of, spreading the neuroblastoma word and story and need. Give, get, or get off is this concept of the same kind of thing. When you're building your team should either be people who can give, and that doesn't have to be financially. This is, time, expertise, knowledge. Get, maybe they have a lot of connections in the community. Maybe they're great at fundraising. Or get off. If they're not contributing anything, this is a thing that I think a lot of people do, is they want to build their board or their base of their friends and family. Well, we're starting this nonprofit, and I love you guys so much, so I want to put you all on the board. And you end up with 15 people that are all your best friends, but some of them maybe are busy, or some of them aren't as connected, or some of them are not, or maybe they all have the exact same skill set as you do because you guys are all peers, and you wind up with accomplishing nothing because these aren't people who are hand-selected for a purpose. We have a purpose, like our mission, again, is relevant research, patient affecting, and awareness. This is something that is obviously to all of us, it's so a part of who we are. It's something that we are passionate about. And if you build your team with just a bunch of your friends who are not necessarily putting in that amount of time or can't do that, then you're not achieving what we're trying to do. So build your team with that in mind. That's that. This is just a picture of me. My head, that's on a zebra. The zebra is on a motorcycle, and then the motorcycle is being chased by a lion. And that's what that is. So in summary, I did, and that was slide 27. I got permission from the family of that zebra. Zebras.motorcycles.org. Great foundation. Check them out. No, that's not true. So anyway, in summary, raising your profile, or this idea of building a brand, this, creating your presence for your organization. It takes time. It takes teamwork. It takes energy and direction. So you do these three things. You define your voice, who you are, who you're going to be as an organization. You be present, which is part of this. Do your level-headed, tactful best to put this in front of everyone you can. Define your voice, be present, choose your team wisely, and then just tell everybody. I mean, that's basically it. And that's all that I have.